Hey guys, it's Daniel with 417 OC Detailing. Today I got a video on air compressors for you. I'm going to show you how to get bone dry air going into your tank so you never have to drain it using an aftercooler and an auto water filter. So if you don't want to drain your air compressor again, or you're sick of having to buy those desiccant air beads, stay tuned, you're going to love the video. Alright guys, so this is my air compressor. This is a 2 horsepower, 29 gallon tank. The pump here produces 5.3 CFM at 90 PSI, but I want to show you the typical way the air compressor is set up. Normally, you flip the switch, the engine starts spinning, creating pressure in the pump, pushing air out through this. Now, this is an aftercooler. This is a tiny little fin that cools the air, I don't know, ever so slightly. Anyways, it goes directly from that straight into the tank. That's how it normally works. The difference is what you want to do is you want to put an aftercooler between the pump and the tank so that your air gets cold before it actually enters the tank. Now, I'll go ahead and give you some general examples, but if I were to take a temperature reading of some of these head bolts, they'll reach 250, 300 degrees. So the air going in on this fitting and this pipe going right into the tank is about 300 degrees. Now, the funny thing is, I made a video about this back in 2017. It's 2025 now. It's actually pretty much 2026. So we're going on basically 9 years that I've been doing this. This is a new unit that I just outfitted today. That other unit worked great for a lot of years. And just for kicks, I'm going to drop a link to that old video back from 2017. It's kind of embarrassing. The video quality sucks, and I'm way younger than I am now. But anyway, long story short, I've been doing this a long time. So back to what I was saying is whenever you have a stock air compressor, well, I have a stock air compressor. Let me show you real quick. All right, this air compressor is another project of mine right now, but it'll serve this purpose. So this is the pump. This is actually a 2-stage, but long story short, not to get into the weeds, it goes directly from the pump into a pipe and into a tank when this is connected. So the heat and the air temperature coming out of that pump is about 300 degrees, and it goes right into that tank. Now, when hot air mixes with ambient temperature air and condenses and builds pressure, it creates condensation. All that condensation goes out the bottom of the tank and is what you have to drain out all the time. So that is why you do not want a standard air compressor like this if you care about, well, if you care at all. And I'm going to show you how to do it really affordably without spending too much money. So using this complete setup, I'm going to show you what actually happens. You flip the switch. Air is pumped through the pump here. It goes through the pipe. This is just a 3/8 hydraulic hose, 3/8 NPT fitting. It goes through the pipe here, and it goes into one side of the aftercooler. Now, when it goes in the aftercooler, this is a 12 pass, I believe. So it goes back and forth 12 times, and then it comes out the other end. Now, one thing that's important to say, whenever you're doing any of these like air plumbing jobs or any kind of plumbing jobs really, you want to use as few fittings as possible. So the first fitting I had the wrong size pipe, and I ended up having to have adapters and converters and different sizes right here. But now I got it condensed to 3/8 male, 3/8 male coupler, or female coupler to 3/8 hydraulic hose. So this hydraulic hose should be able to take the heat coming out of the fin here or the pump here, but basically, yeah, we have as little fittings as possible. This is a 1/2 inch to 3/8 reducer. This is a 3/8 inch hydraulic hose. This is a 3/8 male to female coupler to 3/8 swivel fitting. This aftercooler came with AN10 fittings, and I got this aftercooler for about 30 bucks. So I'm gonna keep going along the line here. We go through the aftercooler, we go down the exit. Now in the exit, same thing. AN10 to 3/8 swivel fitting, 3/8 coupler, 3/8 male hydraulic pipe, and then we go into the automatic water filter. So what happens with an automatic water filter is it's gonna spin around here, and any water that's left will pool at the bottom, and then every time this thing drains of pressure, it automatically will drop it out. Now, again, I've had a setup like this since 2017, and I can tell you this thing will rarely really have any water out of it, but every once in a while, like once or twice a day, it'll leak a little bit, and that's great. That's what it's supposed to be for. Now you go right into your check valve setup, and the check valve setup is right here. So this is kind of hard to get on camera. But yeah, it's a check valve setup right here. So air comes in, and when it has pressure coming this way, it'll fill the tank. And then once the pressure stops coming in this way, it stops. So that's what keeps your tank full of air. And then it's got a pressure sensor, which goes from here to the pressure regulator right here, and the on-off switch. So just to go over pricing, this was about $20. Each of these hydraulic hoses was about $20. This aftercooler was about $30. So we got miscellaneous fittings, let's call it 30 bucks. 2 hoses is 40 bucks. This was 40 bucks or whatever. And then this filter was like 30, 40 bucks. So call it a $100 add-on, and you're gonna have way more improvement. Now, it's really good to do this on a brand new tank, but as long as you clean the tank out really good, basically you're just never gonna have any water come out the bottom ever again. And this is the best way to install the aftercooler. So what I put is some rubber square pads. For some reason, I couldn't find any black ones, so that's one thing that's really annoying, because I like everything to match, but ultimately this is on the back side of the air compressor, and I'm the only one that knows it's there. So anyway, they're just some black square pads that are rubber, and then you've got these fancy air cooler radiator connector zip ties. So all the links are in the description. And then this is what it looks like all put together with the AN10 fittings before I had the adapters on there. Now the other thing I like doing is adding on these little flexible drain hoses here. And we are going to run it. And I'll tell you this, like I said in my last video, I don't know why the last video was so long. I'm kind of embarrassed by it because I don't know if it was 15, 20 minutes or what. But yeah, I ran that thing in that garage that I was in at the time in the middle of July all the way to like February when I recorded the video. And I said I never really drained water out of it. And it's the truth, guys. I hardly ever drain even a drop out of the bottom of this tank. And that means all the air coming through the tank and going into your hose reels and into all your tools and all your paint guns and everything is bone dry. So you really want to do this, and it's a crucial upgrade. So then you can even have this right by your paint gun, you know, your disposable little desiccant inline filters, and it'll stay this purple and it won't turn pink or red for a very long time because there's hardly any water coming through the line at all. So that's another way that you really know is how long these things last. But anyway, the next thing is I'm going to show you it running, and that's going to be basically the whole video. Again, this isn't a great test. I could have probably just let this run for like 30 minutes to really show you the difference before and after the aftercooler, but you'll get the idea, and just trust me. So right here going into it, it's only like 91, 108 on this aluminum part, because this metal, or this part here is aluminum. So that's reading 108, 110. This is 104. So yeah, we're at about 100. Now, what is it over here? 65. Yeah, so that's a 40-degree difference, and it didn't even get that hot. Now, I'll tell you, this side doesn't ever get above 70. Like, this could be 120, 130, 140 after, you know, heat sink and after it's sitting in there for a long time. But this side's always cold as heck, because it's going through 12 passes in here. And then over here, you have like 60-degree ambient, 60 degrees. It's probably warmer than that in the garage. It's probably about, yeah, it's probably 62, 63. So anyway, that's why this thing is hardly ever gonna have any water. And if we go over here, if there's any water in here, it's because it was already in here. I just finished plumbing this up, but let's see. Okay, the tiniest bit. Like I said, it is probably already sitting in here. After I run this for a while, there won't be anything in there. So, long story short, what did we say, $100? $100 add-on, a little bit of know-how, put a couple of pieces on here, and you're good to go. Now, this is very warm to the touch. You can tell. This is even warmer to the touch. Yeah, that's very hot. Over here, very cold. So, do that. Links in the description. Comment below if you have any questions. Make sure you have as few fittings and as few hindrances for the airflow as possible so you'll have the best CFM. Anyway, appreciate you watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Follow and subscribe and like for more videos just like this if you like the content. Thank you so much.